Welcome to DIY for SMBs. This is episode 8. This is digital transformation. Today we're going to talk about digital transformation in the market. So before we get too far ahead ourselves, let's do introductions. We'll start with you.
Adam Ringland, Operations Manager at MIS Solutions.
Dwayne Taylor, vCIO, MIS Solutions.
Nate Jewett, vCIO, MIS.
I'm Jason Null, the hostess with the mostess. I'm the vice president here at MIS Solutions. So today's topic, digital transformation. We're talking a little bit about how much we really didn't know anything about digital transformation at all. No, just kidding. That digital transformation has been an ongoing thing for the marketplace. We were talking a little bit that, you go back into the 90s and early 2000s and people didn't really have websites when they started coming out. They were really basic.
Blah.
Yeah, blah. And you look at today's market, websites are very dynamic, very changing. And Nate, kind of talking about you're the youngest here. I think that you probably approach business different than we do. I know, like, my wife might still pull out the yellow pages. How do you look? Do you look for certain things in companies to see, if they're, a good company or not? What's your first go-to?
Most of the time, it's you just Google somebody, and versus back in the day, you have to pull out the yellow pages. I remember the big books getting thrown on the driveway and stuff. And
well, speaking of websites like that, I don't know about you guys, but if somebody doesn't have a website, what's your first thought?
A little sketchy.
Right. It's like, and that's interesting because there could be a great business and they have no digital presence from a website.
That's they have no digital footprint.
Correct.
That's odd.
Yeah.
They need to either have a website or a well-updated Facebook page.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't like the Facebook stuff personally because I don't Facebook, and every time I go to it, that makes you want to log in. Mm-hmm. And then I personally don't do business. Like, I'm not doing business with you because you put yourself behind this Facebook wall. But it does. I will judge. I know I will personally judge companies based on their website.
I will.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If somebody hands me a business card and it says, br549@gmail.com, and it says United Service Contractors of America, I'm like, what are you doing? You have a digital footprint, but not it's a small one.
Or if you're looking for an MSP and you can order food and apparel on the website too.
That's interesting too. But you go back to that. I do judge people like that too. Mm-hmm. The first thing, you give me a business card, and if on it is United Contractors of America, whatever United, and then they have a Gmail account, I'm like, well, then they're not serious about their business.
They're not legit. It's all about the impression,
Right, because you want that digital presence from website to email to your marketing down to how you're running your business. Are you, using cloud-driven tools today? Are you using the next gen of whatever's out there? Or are you still the guy that's doing paper receipts?
It's like having a Rolodex on your desk when you have a Outlook. So I actually asked the person one day, I said, is that for looks? Because I have an abacus on my desk.
Fun.
For fun.
Right.
Is that for fun? She's like, no, I actually use that. And I said,
Wow.
Okay.
What do you do when you're not here?
Right.
I can't get a hold of my babysitter.
Right.
She's in my Rolodex. Yeah. That's interesting. We have slowly transformed everything in our lives to this digital platform. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in it, I think as a business, you can miss out, because I think as the younger generation keeps coming up, if you're not on Yelp, you don't have Google reviews. That's the first thing you look at. Yeah. And of course, you're looking at the reviews, and you're like, okay, they're a 4 out of 5, and you kind of sort through and see how many 1 stars there are, if they're just a crazy person or is it legitimate. But I truly judge business that way. We will go places and pull up Yelp and start looking right away for a restaurant.
Yeah, it's not even just business, it's products. If you're going to buy a product online, so why wouldn't you? That's everyone's mindset now. It's like, okay, I really like that TV. Let me do some digging, find out what I like, what I don't like, what the reviews on it are. And people are looking for MSPs and looking for other type business that exact same way. If you're looking for someone, to paint your house, you're looking online, you better do your reviews.
Right.
If you don't, scary. Yeah.
Right. That's true. Yeah, and that digital platform is everywhere. It's even when you're paying. Like, if I go somewhere and it doesn't take Apple Pay, it really frustrates me, because then I gotta go to my card.
I just
can't take my watch and go pay.
I'm not there yet.
Come on, get off your high horse.
Cash is not accepted at a lot of places.
I get you there.
I don't like that, but that is definitely a digital transformation that we're taking as we're moving into a digital currency. And the digital currency may still be the US dollar, and it just may be that we're actually not trading actual physical dollar anymore. It's just zeros and ones.
And that's one thing that we do is if we do partner with someone who doesn't have that digital footprint, who has just started out with a Gmail, and we'll get you to that next level. We'll get you a website. We'll get you a domain name. We'll get you something to increase your, what do you want to call that?
Digital footprint.
Digital visibility.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good point because for our partners, we want to make sure that their websites are good, that they have a digital platform going on, that inside of their offices that they're looking at how they can run their company in that digital world. We don't want, especially we saw with COVID, we talked about this in previous episodes, but everybody went home. Not having that digital presence in a digital, environment makes that job harder. All of a sudden, your files aren't all digital and you're having to go to filing cabinets.
When your Rolodex is the only place you put your contacts, you got to go to the office.
Yeah, and that's tough when you're not allowed to leave your house.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's even tough. On weekends, who wants to go to the office on a weekend to get a piece of paper?
Correct.
It's everything I want to have is digital. I want to make sure that, our teams are working that way too.
Yep.
And our partners should be there too. They should be.
If we didn't need to print,
right.
We wouldn't have printers here. It's occasional.
We only have printers for Megan because she likes to print.
Right.
So she is our printer girl.
And just and for the people that don't think of it in the full business scope, it's digital's everywhere. If you're going to get on a plane, the first thing you do is I better download some movies or some music to my phone. Yeah. It's back then you'd never be able to do that. You'd want to bring the TV with the VCR in it and just see if I can carry that on.
I want my music. I'm going to grab the record player and all my albums.
Yeah.
Right. And instead of just having my phone that has
Correct.
Spotify, right? And I have everything.
And
that is the digital transformation we're in, and it's going to continue to go that way. It's really interesting. Just, even from our accounting standpoint, accountants have now moved into, especially QuickBooks in the cloud. Mm-hmm. That's a huge transformation instead of, reaching into companies, trying to remote to PCs. I know we've worked with accountants all the time. They're like, how do we get to our clients' computers to be able to use their stuff? Well, then that person uses the computer during the day, right. And then they're trying to fight for it, and then they're trying to do this. Now with QuickBooks Online, who cares? Yep. It's a complete digital platform, and everybody can get into it anytime they want. You're not fighting for it. It has all your information. Of course, with digital transformation also opens up, I think, a huge security issue, right? And as we move into the digital world, we need to make sure that we're constantly protecting that. Like we've talked in the past, next generation firewalls, two-factor
backups. That's the key to the digital world.
That's very true.
That's what matters most.
Yeah, we didn't have that for paper, right? So if the building burned down, you were done.
Yep.
At least today, if the building burns down, we have our offsite backup so we can restore everything. Right. It's amazing how much I have a hard time in real life dealing with people who are not digital, right? So we used to do contracts with partners, right? And we used to do them on paper. We moved to DocuSign. We used to do certain things on paper, and we moved to this digital solution. We have transformed our entire business to be completely digital. Well, recently I was doing business with somebody, and they actually mailed me a contract to sign, and I was just like, couldn't you email that in DocuSign? I could just sign it, and now I gotta lick the envelope, sign it, put it back in, put a stamp on it, and then send it back to you.
And there's costs associated, but they far outweigh the manual part of it.
Mm-hmm. True.
To having to have 3 more people in the billing department when the service tech can say, sign right here, just replace your garage door seal.
It's what your time's worth.
Yeah. We see that all the time. Heating and cooling, I think, was one of the first groups that I saw in the residential space going to a digital platform. They would have their techs come out and they would bring out, their tough books and have you sign stuff. Nowadays, everybody's walking around with iPads.
Right.
And then I don't want a piece of paper. I want you to email it to me. And it's I love going to places down the street we have March 1st, and you go there, it's a great little brewery, and everything they do is digital, including to getting my receipt at the end. I can just have it texted to me. I don't want a physical receipt. I want a digital copy of it for maybe expense reasons or whatever. But
one digital thing I don't like, QR code menus.
I don't like
Or at the airport, the QR code where you have to order. Instead of just turn around like, hey, can you just get me a beer?
Was that?
No, I got.
Were we in Houston and it happened?
Yes.
Like,
no, you have to do it. I'm like, you're right there. You're right there.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
I just want, like, give me 2 beers.
Yeah.
You got to type it in on that.
And then I remember that was funny. We were just giving the girls, they hated it that their company instituted basically a digital iPad everywhere, or you could use your phone, scan a QR code, but they couldn't serve us. Like verbally, they would not serve
That
us.
was the dumbest thing.
And then we'd order like a beer and it wouldn't leave your tab open. It would close it out each time. And then we're like, so we ordered like, because we had a long layover. So we were stacking them up. Like we'd order like, 10 beers and it'd be like crossed all of us. Everybody gets 2. Yeah. But they would not serve us any other way. And it was just, now that's definitely some areas of the digital world are annoying like that.
Correct.
Now, like vending machines that take credit cards, which is great.
Well, just banking in general.
Banking in general, yeah. Is all digital.
No more. You used to get paper checks. You used to have to go to the bank to cash your paper check,
right,
or deposit your paper check.
It's like parking meters are just
digital. Yeah.
Digital. Yep.
I love that. Now that is some really cool technology, in my opinion. The check cashing. Love having the ability to get a check, take a photo, boom, when I happen to get a check.
Right. That's they came out with that a little too late.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a great technology. And parking meters, like I love that. I've gone downtown several times now, and I have the parking meter app, and it's like it like knows your car, where you're at, and you're like, that's pretty impressive. And I don't have to sit there and try to like, I might be gone for 3 hours. I don't know how many quarters do I have to feed this thing. I'd be like,
you gotta run downstairs, put more quarters in there. You got a $200.
Then I gotta be like, how do I get quarters? Because I don't have cash.
Right.
And now you're like, now you can be
digital. Is there a pull hall around with a change machine? Yeah.
And now you can be
cigarette machine around there.
Now you could be sitting in your appointment or whatever and look down and be like, oh, I need to add more to the meter and just do it.
Yep.
I love that. That's a great use of technology. That is a great digital transformation in our society. Yep. And it's just like the scooters. I love the scooters. All those little Lime scooters everywhere. Oh man, this is awesome.
Like 6 of them stuffed in an alley because they don't work. Broken half.
What's funny is that there are people that their job is to go around, pick those up at night, and charge them.
Pull like a little trailer loaded with batteries down the middle. They just plug them all in.
It's
and
interesting.
Dump them.
Yeah, you could just drop them off all over the place. But they're fun to get it. Like you go to visit a college, you could just get across campus really fast, or downtown. Parking can be crazy sometimes. You can park like 5 blocks away, jump on a Lime scooter, and get to the venue you want to get to really quick. So yeah, definitely there are some cool digital pieces of transformation in our lives. And going back to our partners, I mean, you guys work with them heavily to probably make them assess their environments and make them more digital than they are when we start.
We try.
Yeah, I mean that's from everything from scanning to email to newer machines to be able to do that, how we get stuff into the cloud for their files and documentation.
No, there's a lot that's changed. I mean, even in the long-term healthcare, they're having to 2-factor with badges to administer meds and just all this digital stuff where they were just doing it in a notebook and maybe a pen.
Yeah, I mean, our medical charting now is completely digital.
And they used to have to send that back, and the medical record would sit there and transcribe it and put it into the system. And now it's just like, do it as you go.
I see you did it. I see that you did it.
Yeah. That is neat. I mean, when we go to the doctors, like especially the pediatrician, just because I have a kid, and it's really cool to see our doctors, the nurses, and everybody using a digital platform and not asking me dumb questions over and over again because the information's right there, and they're able to track it. And they don't have this chart where they're trying to read somebody else's handwriting. It's all right there. And then they got great graphing in it to, this is your weight range. This is your growth chart. And that is really neat as a parent to see that kind of stuff. So, as our world continues to change, stuff like that will be really interesting. What's next? Yeah. What can we transform next besides ourselves, I guess?
And then think of all the, the companies that all the software they're using. You used to have to, can you mail me that CD-ROM? Like legit. Now you just go to their website.
AOL, please send me a CD. I haven't had one in a while.
When I started here, I would install software on a PC, and I would be on a CD. Yep. And I would make a directory on the computer, and I would copy the CD and put the serial number in the text file because someone's going to lose the CD.
100%, without question.
Yeah, so and you're going to need it.
Yeah, when was the last time you got something on disc or CD or even
I
USB
don't-
drive these days?
Maybe like a radiologist report or something like their,
Well, yeah, you can't use
MRI scans or something
Yeah.
like that. You got to
Sometimes
give it to
USB
someone.
Yeah.
USB license keys.
Yeah.
Those deals that plug
Oh,
in.
the old dongles that like you had to have that in the
We
machine.
still have a couple partners that have those USB dongles for
I never
licensing.
understood that, why we can't just have a regular key versus having that. And then they started virtualizing those, because outside of a virtual environment you really didn't have, the physical access. So yeah, stuff has definitely changed. I love where we're going with stuff, and what I'm always looking forward to what's next for transforming to the next digital age. Like we talked about in the past, music was a great one. Yes, I don't own anything anymore, but do I really need to when I have every album I've ever wanted to hear, and I can just be like, you know what, I'm in the mood to listen to, I just want to listen to straight Nirvana for a while, and I might own one CD that I might have converted to MP3, and I'm not going to dig it out or try to find where I did the MP3s, but I can like just sit there and go out to Apple Music or Spotify and be like, just shuffle their entire album or entire catalog. Yeah, and that's awesome. And obviously, even the movie industry has moved to that. We have simultaneous launches at home and in theaters at times. I personally still like to go to theaters.
Depends on the show.
Yeah, big movies I like to see. I mean, like Top Gun. When Top Gun Maverick came out, you have to go to the theater to see that. I don't care what kind of system you have at home. Movie theater for that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any movie that has been released that I wouldn't want to be sitting at home, either in my screen down here or sitting in my living room.
Man, just miss that popcorn, the big movie feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's just more our generation.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you probably didn't grow up going to a bunch of movies in the theater.
Mm-mm.
Like, for us, that was that was like a big deal.
Well,
When
yeah.
you went to the theater, that was like a big
Which is why theaters are struggling today.
Yep.
Even after COVID, they're having a hard time getting people to come back in.
Got
and they're
lazy
hoping-
asses like these young bucks.
Yep,
that
see,
don't
exactly. You just want to watch it on a 10-inch screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, it needs to be huge, and my
While playing
seat.
Farming Simulator. You're like,
Now
"Oh,
that's
not missing
that's it.
anything.
That's it
Not
right
missing
there.
anything."
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
it.
even our farming's gone digital, hasn't it?
Yep, that's right.
I mean, it has. I mean, we joke that we have a client, our partner, who has a greenhouse, and they were complaining one day because the wireless went down. They couldn't monitor their
Yep.
crops. That's even farming's moving to the digital platform, GPS tractors, and
100%.
I can
everything.
talk about that all day.
all our cars are slowly moving that way. I mean, how many of your cars today you pull it in the garage and it sends you an email to tell you the status of that?
Mind.
Right. See,
It's like
You
the
must have one of
cars
those
and
really
like,
nice
I'm like,
ones.
I know I just got out of it. Thanks.
Right.
it's but
Every month, every now and then, when my wife starts the truck in the middle of the night on her way home from work, it will send out an OnStar email that says, "Here's your report about your Silverado."
Yep.
Like, that's interesting. I never signed up for this. I don't have to pay for it, so who
Right.
cares?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that our cars are doing that. Everything.
We've come a long way in my career, your career, since you started in IT. I was talking to Austin Ringland one day, it was a while back, and we were at lunch, and he was looking at his phone, and I said, we used to print out maps.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he was like, I'd be lost without my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's a whole generation.
it's a whole different thing. We use streets and trips. I mean,
And-
if you don't know the area, I didn't know Cincinnati at the time. I wasn't from around there.
And before there was MapQuest, which before the internet, you had to go to AAA and get a trip tick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little good old flip there.
Here's the next highway.
Yeah, I
Now
love
hand
that.
somebody
Still
a
get
map
those.
now that's 20, and they're like, well,
Well, and you think about it, you don't know what kind of construction's going on.
Right.
Now you're driving, is all of a sudden 2-hour delay coming up. Here's alternate route. You're
Yep.
like, yes.
Speed trap
Yep,
coming
speed.
up.
I love that.
I
The
know.
Waze and Google Maps with the
Yep.
the notifications of where all the. But I found different places. I think the cops just sit there and just tag it deliberately to make you not
Probably.
be able to find it. Like they're playing games on the freeways too. So,
Mm.
but yeah, that's another great transformation digitally. We went from physical maps, which are cool to have. I love reading maps.
Now
but-
the map's on your dash.
yeah, send it to your phone.
I heard something the other day. They were talking about, everybody's got a cell phone now. Everybody's got their maps to know where they're going. Everybody can see everybody else's location too. I can see my wife's location or my parents' location. 15 years ago, oh, I don't know. I guess Dad's on his way home. He'll be here when he gets here. But now we're, I don't know where they're at. I better look.
It's all about the now.
Yeah, they gotta know what's going on.
You love your family more than I love mine.
No, I mean, I think it's great too. Like having a daughter who's driving at 16.
Yeah.
You know, and she works late she actually works at a movie theater, which is funny. But at times I can look down and see her on her way home and be like, okay, good. I know she made it to the car safe. Somebody walked her out.
Right.
You know, she's on her way. She'll be here in 10 minutes. If she's not here in 10 minutes, I need to look again.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm trying not to digitally stalk her, but I just want to make sure she's okay.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I mean, I remember as a kid, we were like, I was going up to my cousin Paulie's. Call me when you get there. And you get there,
Yeah.
and then you
And
get
then you
yelled
forget.
at. And you get
Yeah,
yelled
and
at.
you forget, and you're
Right.
like, then your parents show up. I didn't call.
Right.
2 blocks.
Yes. But today they would just look down and be like, okay, he made it.
Right.
I know he didn't call me, but he's good.
Yep.
Yeah, so society has changed, even business, and try to kind of rein us back in a little bit, back to a business side of it. I think that in this day and age, if you are a business that doesn't have the right digital presence, you know, having the right digital transformation is a deterrent to you. It is going to cost you business.
It'll be very
Marketing,
big.
and marketing's the biggest one.
Yeah.
That's like literally, if you're a small to medium business, you don't have a marketing presence online, you know, you're not using LinkedIn, you're not using Twitter, you're not using, you know, Facebook or, you know, Google Pages. Yeah, that's the rough way.
It's really hard to grow a business when
No one knows about you.
No one knows about you, and for 20 years you've done everything word of mouth, but everything's starting to fall off now. So you might as well get with the program.
You can type anything in. Tree trimming service near me.
Yep. Yeah, if you're not tagged on there, I mean,
Right.
it's
And I think that stuff's hard to navigate too. So making sure you have the right people, and they're obviously from a digital footprint with website companies that we work with that are great at helping you navigate that and get everything you need, getting the right analytics going, getting the right keywords.
we're the perfect example of all of this. We're
Yeah.
small business. As we continue to grow, you know, we did what we could from a marketing standpoint. It really wasn't a whole lot. And it's like, okay, well, we're large enough now. We need to really jump in the pool.
Right. Yep. I mean, that's what I love going out to. What is the website Time Machine, a site that actually lets you go roll back in time.
Oh,
yeah.
see old time.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I can't remember the site, but hopefully somebody could just put it at the bottom of this and find it for me. But you can actually go out and you can like roll back and look at our website. You can go all the way back to 2003.
Oh,
or,
I
like,
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's basically it's a historical record of the internet that basically is being archived for everybody. But you can roll back websites. You roll back anybody's websites and you start getting back to the old front page days. You're like, wow, I can't believe that's like what we use to market ourselves.
That's all we had.
Yeah.
But
But it has changed so much.
so much.
So
So
On
much.
some sites too, it's funny to go to like YouTube or something, and then you can go back and see what YouTube was, but the small changes they make over time that you don't really notice
Subtle. Yeah.
until you go back and look. Wow.
yeah, so everything in our world has changed, and if you're not partnering with somebody like us at MIS Solutions to help you navigate that, to help take your business to that next level, you are going to struggle to continue to do business. And working with an small businesses like we do, we're always able to navigate them, help them.
Yep.
If we can't do it, we have great partners
Correct.
that can help leverage you and take you into the 21st century. We're almost to 2024 here, right?
Right.
I mean, you guys, everybody needs to have a great website. Everybody needs to have their own domain, and they need to have great business cards and get away from QR codes, right?
Yep.
So
No more menus.
no more menus.
menus.
I love, I actually like the menu system with the QR codes because
Boo.
I can't read
Boo.
anything. Half the places are dark, so at least with the like,
You can magnify your
Yeah, I
phone.
can
look at one
zoom.
letter at a time.
Yes, exactly.
Take you a while to spell out chicken.
Wow, how much is that? It takes me forever to
Yeah.
figure out. Like, so, yeah, no, but I mean, I don't really have too much else to talk about. I think
No,
we've covered We've covered this as we've went through the last 7 episodes before this.
Mhm.
The digital transformation is
it's
about
sprinkled in.
everything.
Correct.
It's
been
everything
there.
we're doing. It's Office 365. It's cloud. It's our websites. It's how we are doing processing. Are we actually taking physical checks? Are we doing ACH?
Right.
Are we doing credit card transactions? How does that look? How do we supply invoices to people? How do we supply? I mean, we completely invoice digitally. and we want our partners to pay digitally.
Yep.
Some still write checks. I'd love to see everyone ACH, but that's coming. It's going to be to the point where sending things through the mail costs too much money.
Yep. Agreed.
And using ACH and digital, getting digital receipts and digital invoices is so much easier. It's so much cost effective. So, if you need help with your IT, please reach out to us at www.MIS.tech. And continue to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever else. What, MySpace? Yes. Check out our MySpace page. We just updated it. Fresh new look. Has all of our
friends now, Tom and Nate.
But yeah, thanks for coming. We'll check you guys out next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.